I'm Nick with Q103, Albany.com. I'm joined by Kim Benzie from Dead Letter Circus.
Finally. We're doing it.
This is true. This is true. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. You also have Rob Merrick, guitarist in your band, and Stuart Hill plays bass, and your newest member, I believe, right? Luke Williams, drummer.
We've got Luke Williams and Tom Skirl, who is our actual newest member. So Luke and Tom coming on at various times.
Nice. Now, I thought he was for live performances. Is he gonna have more of a permanent position in the band?
Yeah, definitely. He just came in a bit later than we did the album. So the album, I guess, manifested the need for an extra person to be able to pull it off live. We didn't want to have to, we wanted to do it all live and not have it all on track and stuff like that. And Tom and I were doing a side project that was very, keyboard and stuff heavy, and I sort of said to the guys in the band, well, I think I know the perfect guy if I want to do this, and got him involved, and so he's just started committing to our style of writing now, so hopefully we'll see Tom on the new album.
Awesome. Have you guys already started the writing process of that new album?
Yeah, we're probably about a third of the way through. When we write, we basically create seeds, and we don't write whole songs until we actually get in the studio. We sort of leave, 50% to 60% to actually improvise in there around a basic skeleton structure. So we've created definitely a little bank of ideas. We could go in there now and do something. A little bit more time would be good.
The album that you just did now is called This Is the Warning. I believe it's been out for about a year now in Australia, and it just came out here in the U.S.
On the 26th.
Nice. Tell me a little bit about that album. Where were your inspirations? What helped your writing process, or what was your writing process for this?
Well, I guess we did. We're doing a lot of touring when we wrote that album, so we wrote half of it over the space of about a year, and the other half in about 3 months. And I guess we all went through a bit of a personal awakening around that time as to the true happenings of the way that the world's run, and the fact we know the government's run by corporations rather than the people that we elect, and that there definitely is some kind of construct or design that's been placed around us, and we're expected to live within it, so we can be controlled. I guess we kind of awoke into that quite savagely during the album process, and just through our source of media and stuff, and personal, investigation, and it just really affected the way we went about it, and we really, it felt like we were just channeling something that people needed to know as much as writing an album. So, the whole album's like a first person view of an awakening to that kind of thing.
Nice. I mean, there's obviously a lot of bands out there like Rage Against the Machine that are always trying to write music that kind of give a different perspective from what we see from the corporate news and so on. So So would you consider yourself cut from the same cloth as Rage Against the Machine?
It would be an amazing honor. I don't think I would be able to make that claim, but definitely, I think they're one of the greatest bands ever in existence. So definitely with the message, we're keen to use our medium as a source to inform people, point people in a direction for free thought and kind of thing, which I think they do amazingly. Same with Tool, as well.
Yeah, there's even been talks that they've been working on maybe they haven't put out of the question of putting another album together. That would be awesome.
That'd be fucking incredible. I think Miley Cyrus is definitely on our side too.
Yeah, nice.
That was the Australian humour.
Actually, I didn't. You got a pretty thick accent. I've had the opportunity to meet with a good friend of yours, Kenny from Carnival, and also Shin.
Oh yeah.
And I think out of all of them, you've got the thickest accent.
Yeah, that's. I won't be able to disagree with that. I've been travelling around in a van full of Australians quite heavily the last 30 days or so. I think it's spinning in on itself.
Yeah, let's talk about this tour. You're on tour right now with Animals as Leaders. How's that going? How's it going? How's it to be on tour with those guys?
Oh, it's incredible. Like, they really are probably the best band I've ever seen, like, up close. Like, it's just freakish. Like, they really are, like, the kind of future of heavy music in my mind. Like, it's been amazing, really, really amazing. So we've got 5 shows to go out of 29. So there's like 30 shows. So it's 29 shows in 30 days, and we're 5 shows to go.
Yeah, in the home stretch.
Yeah.
And do you have any stories from this tour? Any, like, what's your highlight, or what's some maybe some dirt that maybe everyone doesn't know?
Well, we've been just sort of amusing ourselves with just a lot of the American things that you can't do in Australia. So we break up our nightly drive by setting off some fireworks somewhere in the countryside. As far as dirt,
yeah.
Our tour manager's probably a floppy. He got a little bit drunk at one of our shows that we did. We all take it quite seriously, especially if we have to, not get sick for 29 shows. We're not really partying on this tour, but our tour manager, sound guy, actually did party, and we're driving around in an F350, which doesn't have windows in the back that open all the way. They've just got these little windows you push out a tiny bit.
Yeah.
You get like about an inch. And he, for some reason, he needed to puke in the van while we're driving at 70 miles an hour, and decided he's going to try and puke out of one of these little windows, and pushed it open and basically started vomiting, and the vomit was flying back into the van all over our drummer's face.
So who cleaned up the inside of the van? And might I also point out the back of the trailer, or the front of the trailer?
We actually went through a truck wash, but yeah, the funny thing was that we were all asleep, and we just awoke to the drummer roaring, just absolutely swearing his face off about this vomit flying all over his face, yelling for people to pull over, and we're on a bit of the highway where you just couldn't pull over.
I definitely wasn't expecting a story like that. Normally you hear the band goes out partying and gets a little crazy, and it's the tour manager who's trying to keep everybody, he's in bed early, making sure everyone's up on time.
Well, yeah, and how it all started is we were hanging out at a bar, and a couple of the bartenders wanted us to stay, and we said, well, if you want us to stay and hang out, you've got to get our tour manager drunk. So they proceeded to get him very, very drunk.
It doesn't hurt. He's got. I also have the luxury, or the what's the word I'm looking for? I also manage a band myself, and I know how it is to have the stresses.
We don't mind the good times if it's on a if we're not playing 24 shows in a row, but
yeah.
We're really aiming to try and pull it off. Like, I want to be able to have smashed every show and not get sick. Everyone in Australia, all our friends, just said, man, 24 shows in a row.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to get through it, but
yeah, that's crazy.
I'm nearly there. Very close.
How has the turnout been for you so far?
Really good. Like that. Animals guys are, everyone's predominantly there to see them, but every night it's the same kind of thing where, there'll be a sprinkling of the DLC diehards that have heard about us on the internet, and
yeah.
We generally walk off that stage and every hand's in the air, asking who we were, so wondering what it was I was saying in between the songs in my Australian accent.
Yeah. And it was the show that we were at, Northern Lights. I was sitting there talking to you, and one of the people there for the show happened to be wearing a Carnival shirt, and you have to assume that they're there to see you, instead of...
Yeah. And there's definitely always, there's a few people there, which is good, but it's been really exciting going back to the start of our career. Like, it's been like we've been put in a time machine almost and transported back to the absolute beginning, except that this time around we're a lot better players than we were then, and getting to experience it all again. It's actually probably the most exciting part of your career when you're completely unknown in a room full of people, and you finish your first song and there's that standoffish light applause, and then you get to your last song and everyone's absolutely losing their shit. It's probably the best time in the band's life.
Yeah, it's definitely it's nice when you can look out in the crowd and you see people wearing your shirt and cheering for you, and there to you're starting to get a little bit of a momentum with your following.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're experiencing in Australia, but that's kind of the opposite here. So what I'm saying is that I'm enjoying the no one knowing who we are.
Yeah.
And, you're going there as the complete underdogs trying to walk out.
No expectations. Yeah.
Converted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Now you're wrapping up this U.S. tour, and I know that you're off to Australia for the No Fracking Way tour. You want to tell me about that and maybe the message behind that tour?
Basically, you guys probably know more about it than most of the Australian public with the coal seam gas mining and the method of mining, fracking, which is, there's a movie by Josh Fox over here, One of Your Worlds, called Gasland, and it's basically that. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Yeah, well, basically that mining is at its fetal stages in Australia. Like, we only have, 4,000 wells, and it's at a stage where it can be kind of stopped. Obviously, most of America now knows that that process. It's not a bridge between renewable energy and coal or coal and oil. It's actually just a quick money grab from the governments that, with no thought to the future of they're going to leave this industrial wasteland and poison all the artesian water, which, artesian water is a non-renewable resource that's taken millions of years to form and is the reason that a lot of those farming communities can exist out there with low rainfall. And a lot of Australia is that arid, country where they don't get a lot of rain. And, I guess the way of life and a sense of community is really at risk of being lost over there. So we're just keen to raise some awareness to point the public, I guess, to firstly just alert them that to do their research on what this is before it's too late over there, because the government, like the mining companies over there, are putting ads on TV to talk about how wonderful this process is, and the mainstream media don't give a fuck. And the government, all they're thinking about is money and escaping being a part of the worldwide recession. So it's really up to the people and to try and spread the word and fight the fight, I guess.
Yeah, we just dodged a bullet here. For the better part of a year, maybe a little bit more, but I remember for a better part of a year, debates going back and forth of having that process here, right, like locally to Albany, and I think level heads prevailed, and it got shot down.
Well, it's a pretty important stance for humankind at the moment, especially in Australia. We had recently a live export of meat to Indonesia from our country involved some horrendous torture of animals, and it was basically just a Facebook petitioning and stuff like that forced the government to change the law of of the way they ceased the export of meat in this way. Like, basically, they'd send the animals over there live, and the Indonesians would violently kill them with no kind of humanity to it. And this coal seam gas issue is actually, because it's so black and white, like there's no grey area of maybe it is a good thing. It's just completely stupid. It's going to be the kind of thing that the average person, not just the fringe environmentalists, can get involved in and feel like they kick the goal as well. Like, the person that watches Idol or MasterChef or Biggest Loser, that kind of thing, like that level of, person is going to be able to feel like they kick the goal and they can actually make a change, because most of those people are going through the realization that their government, it doesn't matter who they vote for, their country is run by corporations.
Yeah, unfortunately,
and they're trapped in apathy, so they don't really know. They don't think they can do anything to change it. But this coal seam gas thing is something that they're going to feel like they're a part of if we can actually make it happen and win the fight. So it's an important one.
Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, whoever has the deepest pockets has the loudest voice, and it takes obviously a tour like you guys are doing out there to make yourself sound a little bit louder, amplify your voice.
Yeah. Well, there's a few. Hopefully, most of the musicians in Australia are going to get involved, and just try to. Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. I feel like it's going to come good.
Yeah, obviously, whenever you do anything that's positive to, with your talents and with your following, to be able to do something positive with that's always a feather in your cap.
Yeah.
Really quick, want to talk about, since we're talking about Australia, let's keep, I'm starting to notice a little bit of an Australian sound with a lot of the bands that are coming out when like yourselves, Carnival, Butterfly Effect, a little bit more on the popular side, the Birds of Tokyo, but you guys, you kind of have this new sound that's coming out of Australia. Tell me a little bit about that. What
basically happened at the end of, when Tool released Anima and Deftones had White Pony Lateralis and White Pony, and it's kind of like in America, it feels like rock divided into, rock became stuff like Nickelback and Three Doors Down, unfortunately. Or it got really heavy, with the cool heavy bands that are going around. And in Australia, we didn't develop those other aspects so much, but what happened is the middle ground of that where, if you're into Tool, Deftones, Perfect Circle, like we had this scene that kind of started up all around a band called COG, for you guys. And yeah, we're just basically, through playing together and just pushing each other, and all the singers became good singers, and the music got very melodic, and we just kind of spun a scene in on itself, I guess. Like with Seattle, the grunge movement as well. We've got this alternative rock movement there.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the sound that's coming out of there. First of all, you're taking extremely talented musicians and songwriters, and they're just carving a new way into the rock genre, and almost you're almost on the verge of creating your own style of rock. And
yeah, thanks, man. I'm glad you're onto it. It's really to give you an idea of the pulling power. Our style of music there is as big as hip hop in Australia. Like we do have our own version of hip hop over there, and it's really supported. Like heaps of people come out to the shows, and it's really amazing to be a part of.
So do you guys get together? I mean, obviously, I know you're friends with Carnival. Are you friends with the Butterfly Effect too? And
yeah, we absolutely. We live in the same town as them, and we rehearse in the rehearsal room through 1 foot wall from those guys. So we're very, very close with those guys.
I heard that you guys have a pact to never explain the name of your band. Is that true?
Oh, it's only till about it's about 14 months away. We'll talk about it next year. So we had like a 5-year pact.
Okay.
We wouldn't talk, but yeah, it's coming. We're gonna have to pretty soon. We're gonna have to reveal. So.
Well, the question that I do have is what brought along. What made you sit there and say, "I refuse"? We've got to keep people guessing. We don't want to let the cat out of the bag too soon. Like what got you? Go ahead.
It's underneath the the humor and the whatever. Like we are quite a spiritual bunch of guys, and it's actually quite a deep meaning that we just wanted to, I guess, had to wait till it was ready to be associated with us and our characters as we grew up a little bit. And we spent a couple of years just being a silly, the trashiest party band that anyone would know,
Yeah.
And didn't take anything very seriously. And then there was just a point where we knew that we would grow up and evolve into what we'd initially named the band, and the reasons behind it. And that's thankfully happened in the last year. I know me personally, I just realised how much the songs and the meaning behind the songs actually mean to people, and what the obligation that I have to, stand out there and nail it and not be hungover and all that, all the kind of. It's pretty fun. It can be really fun touring around and you live in this bubble of existence where it's, I guess, a lot of people's dream scenario, but it does come with a responsibility for certain types of bands, and so we've all gone through a bit of a shift and decided to take it very seriously, and it's going to coincide with us revealing our very serious band name.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of refreshing that you guys have. It seems like you have a purpose behind everything that you guys do, and there's a deep meaning to it. And your guys aren't just out there to write music, just music that you like, or just to go out there and hopefully put a couple bucks in your pocket. But everything you guys do seems to be well thought out and have a purpose.
Yeah, thanks. Well, it's definitely not for the money, I can tell you that. But that's the great thing about digital downloading. Like, contrary to all the big acts having big whinge about it, what it's actually done is made music more honest, and it's meant that if you're in it, especially if you're in a rock band, you can still be a little plastic manufactured pop star for your 1 year of fame or whatever you get. But if you want to be in a rock band, you've got to basically subscribe to a lot of fucking touring, a lot of van time, a lot of the hard work that back in the Skid Row days and Motley Crue days wouldn't have been a part of it. Like those guys just disgustingly rich, disgustingly spoiled. So if you're in a rock band today, you're doing it because you love it, and you really.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have a love for music.
Yeah. I gotta say, I don't hate money, but
no.
and being in the band accidentally forcing me to not participate in money worship, which is ultimately a good thing. But
Right.
yeah, I wouldn't. I do like, you know, not stressing about cash.
Yeah. Well, like I said, as long as love what you do and you never have to work a day in your life. Is it true that you got a laser burn during a Rammstein show?
Yeah, I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I got either a laser burn or a really hot light. I'm not really sure because we were definitely. We climbed up into this section that we had access to, and we'd gone up to the layout. We weren't supposed to be up there, and yeah, I did have a little nasty burn on my leg for a couple of weeks there on the big day out tour.
What was the? I'm assuming that you were backstage, looking from the back out towards the crowd and everything. What is one of those? Well, go ahead.
We were actually somewhere up in the sound tower where they're shooting stuff from the front.
Have you ever seen any other show like a Rammstein show?
Oh, I think the Rammstein show was the best show on earth at the moment. It absolutely, the sound of the band, everything was just fucking amazing. Well, I wasn't a massive fan of the music before that. I like slightly more complicated and melodic music, but I walked out of there just such a fucking fan. I watched every night a big day out, like 6 nights. I watched the whole set, like huddled for a position before they came on to make sure I had a good spot. Like they were just fucking amazing.
Tell us a little about your big day out there in Australia.
It's basically the biggest festival you have. It's like the touring one's like about 80 to 90,000 people per capital city, and it just attracts like massive acts from around the world. And you only do like 2 shows a weekend, so it's just, if you're an artist, it's just basically it's the utopia of parties. There's just something to do every night. Everything's free if you're an artist. The shows are it's really, really hot. Apparently it's like similar to your Warped Tour, like
yeah.
we do suffer for the art during the time we're on stage, but it's generally just amazing. Like it's most bands' favourite tour to do because of all the time off in between, and it's become part of the Australian culture. Like even if you don't like the bands going on a big day out, the headliners, you'd still pay your money for a ticket and go along. It's become it's everyone's yearly event.
Yeah, it's a tradition. And I believe you guys have played Big Day Out before.
Yeah, we did the main stage. This is our first year on the main stage this year, so that was pretty fucking amazing.
Highlight of your career?
Yeah, I'd probably have to say definitely I wouldn't say they were the funnest shows because they were very, very hot and you feel like you're dying up there, but definitely the most surreal experience walking onto in front of 30,000 people on the main stage, and everyone's hands shooting up in the air, and it's like you kind of pinch yourself, wondering if you're in a dream or if it's real.
Kind of go back to talk a little bit about your band. Your bass player, I happen to notice, plays a Warwick, and it seems like every band in Australia right now, all their bass players, they love the Warwick, and there's a lot of great bass players out there in Australia.
The Warwick have really, I think it suits the sound, and they're really well represented there as well. And so, they're very active, supportive of the musicians, and they're just a great sounding bass. They've got that real growl, and they sort of stick out. And I actually noticed over here that not a lot of people play them. I thought it was a worldwide thing, but.
Yeah, no, that's why it sticks out to me. Like the band that Bulletproof Messenger is a band that I represent, and our bass player is sponsored by Warwick, and we had the opportunity not too long ago to go out to their shop in Manhattan, and it was beautiful. Did you guys get the opportunity to stop in there? No,
we passed through too quick. We had an invitation, but we didn't get to go there.
Yeah, really cool guys over there, and it's just an awesome shop, and they take the time and hang out with you and talk and do the photos and everything. So, next time you're out here, you got to stop in that shop.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess we could talk really quick about your new album. What can we expect to hear from your new album?
It's just going to be bigger, and it's going to make the other one seem like just a Britney Spears album.
I highly doubt that.
Yeah.
Where Do you guys have a date set to go in the studio, or is it you guys?
We're going to try and aim it to have. We're going to sync up the Australian release with the American release. So we're hoping to aim it for July next year. Have it done. So it'll be a year, possibly July 26th. You know, so like 1 year from the release of This Is the Warning here, and then which means because we've got a fair bit of touring to do over here, so we've got the whole album to support. So we're going to plan to come back, you know, at least 3 times before then, and go and meet as many people as we can, and turn some heads with the live show. And
good deal. Talk about places where we can find This Is the Warning. Like where's a good place to go if I want to go out right now and buy that album?
Yeah, you can check it out. iTunes is probably the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, or go out to one of your shows next time you guys are there and pick it up from the merch table. That would suit us, and we get to meet you. Yeah, that's another thing I want to talk about. I apologize if I keep wrapping Australian bands all together, but like meeting Carnival and talking to them and just being a huge fan of theirs and being a huge fan of yours, to be able to, like, you guys are always willing to just hang out with the crowd, talk, share a beer, you know, just sit back and relax. I think
it's just part of the culture. That's very much you know, we're
so you honestly enjoy doing that.
A friendly people, you know.
You don't mind sitting there talking to drunken guys who keep asking you the same questions over and over again, like myself.
No, well, you can't really say no to a compliment, can you? In any way, shape, or form is positive, and you know that is how you kind of get paid. You know, we don't get paid in money; you get paid in. It's just a form of energy, even if it's drunken guy at a merch table energy. It's still positive, and it's still the reason that, you know, you're writing the songs. So it's part of the privilege, you know. It's nice to hear.
Nice. Again, this is Ken Benzie from Dead Letter Circus here on Q103Albany.com. Anything else you want to say as we step out?
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, man.
I hope you can decipher the accent. I'll work on an American hybrid, maybe like Russell Crowe.
Actually, the only thing I didn't understand was you threw the joke in there. I didn't catch what it was. So
I said maybe Miley Cyrus is a you know, she's the same as Rage Against the Machine, singing for the fighting the good fight.
Yeah, I don't really see Miley Cyrus going out to being an activist anytime soon.
Yeah. No, I definitely don't think that's going to be happening.